today on the program by special request, i.e. Beth said, hey, why don't you make a Saison? Thought I would whip one up. End of summer. Now, it's not a style I make frequently. Made it a few times. Not going to claim to have any expertise or even all that much knowledge about it. I mean, I know a little bit about the style. I know it's yeast driven. A few years ago, on that note, Brian Adams had this idea to do a Saison project, or maybe it was Brian and Leaf. And so what we did is we all made some different batches. I made one. And the thing that we did is we used different yeast strains, but we made the same recipe. And then I wasn't around when they did this, but then people got together and tried them all and just sort of saw what they thought. I don't know if we had any conclusions, but the recipe was pills, a little bit of flaked wheat, and then there was some table sugar. For the lack of having any other better ideas, I thought I'll use my pills. So I have 9 pounds of pills. Now this one was half a pound of flake wheat. I just grabbed a pound because why not? I'm skipping the sugar. That would have been an effort to make it get extra dry, which surely would work. I'm just going with these grains. I'm not gonna do the sugar. The bittering hop is not all that important, but I got an ounce of German tradition, and then I do have our fine people at Imperial to thank yet again. And I am going to make a starter because mostly this pack is a little on the old side. I believe it should be fine, but I do want to ensure that it is active and will be going by the time I need to use it. And we have the mash, which did come in at 150, which is nice because you want it to be low because you want it to attenuate and you want a pretty dry result. So we'll get this puppy going, and you know, we'll get Beth her Saison. I just put the wort chiller in. It's about 15 minutes left to go on the boil. I'm not doing any hop standing stuff today, so that will simplify stuff a little bit. One thing I have enjoyed recently is this particular plant has just really come out with all these flowers, and they kind of face the same direction. There you got that gap there is even taller, but yeah, we'll get this Saison chilled down here in a little bit. So even though this yeast was a little bit older than you might normally want to use, it wasn't super old. And the other thing is that this yeast starter has you can see some bubbles. It also has changed color. So I believe it should be just fine. It looks like it's going to come in around 1050. I'll get a better look. And what I am going to do here is not do extra aeration, because I was just commenting on this yeast. I mean, this is like a lot of yeast. It's a 1050 type batch. I also just poured the wort in here like I usually do. So I'm just gonna say that this will be plenty of yeast and oxygen for this batch, and hopefully she'll get going in a few hours. It's about 11 hours maybe after pitching, and I am pleased to see that it is rocking and rolling. I'm keeping it a little bit cool right now. I have that ice jug and that ice jug. Now this yeast strain has an upper temperature range of 78, so I will maybe let it, you know, go higher than this, but I don't know. I think this room is like 74 or something, so I don't know how. I feel like maybe I'll do a little bit of ice jug still, but Anyway, nice to see that it's off and running. So I thought I would dial back the ice jugs, and I did, and now it did get all the way up to, it looks like, a 78, and it's still doing stuff, i.e. fermenting, but it's slowing down. And I guess I feel okay about it because, as far as I understand, if you push the temperature range on a yeast strain like that, you might get more interesting character out of it. And sometimes when I do these Belgian things, I'm trying to think of an example, like a potter's beer. I'm not going for excessive Belgian character, but just kind of, you know, a little bit, so then I'll maybe do it cooler. But if this Saison strain says they'll have a range up to 78, and sometimes those ranges are conservative anyway, and actually it could go higher, but I don't think this one will now. In fact, maybe I'll take those shirts off, and then I'll let a little more of the temp air off. But it'll be interesting, because, I mean, that's what I want in a Saison. I want some good, unique character. So I also had put a pad underneath it, I don't know if you saw, to get it off the floor. And doing that, and taking off the ice jugs, and keeping those shirts over it, did definitely make it increase like 6 to 8 degrees. So, alright, I'm going to go take them shirts off, and it'll probably be wrapping up in a day or so. Okay, well, we're rolling. Here is the Saison. It is, oh, look at that, it's in the sun. And there's Dawson and Chip. And it's been in the keg about a month and a week or so. It's October 22nd. And it's 70 something degrees, I think.
I believe it.
Is it 70? I don't know.
Overdressed.
It's warm right here in the sun. So yeah, cheers. And this was a pretty simple project. 9 pounds of pills, 1 pound of wheat, 1050 to 1.002. And the Saison yeast that I use, Napoleon, Imperial, which I'm sure is similar to, you know, the other companies like that, stuff will attenuate down. They warn you about that, and it's true. So, like he was saying before we start rolling, if you don't want that to happen to your beer, then maybe use a different strain.
It's diastatic.
I sounded super smart before the camera was on.
It's corn. It's got the juice.
So, kind of the story about this was, if you just throw a Saison yeast into a batch of wort, and also, as you saw in the clips, it did get kind of warm. It got up to 78, which I wouldn't run my other ale strains that hot.
But took it like a champ, though.
But
like,
that's okay.
It's not fusely. It's not really even that estery.
I mean, I get
I wouldn't say this is beyond. I mean, it's beyond pills, but it's not beyond Saison. Like, I would think with that temperature, it would maybe have what we were calling the salt and pepper effect, where it's a little like bone dry, saltine, crackery, kind of peppery. But this like really held its own and didn't get like spicy, funky. Just kind of a nice, soft drinking Saison.
Overly so, but I definitely get spiciness.
Yeah.
I mean, I get what you want when you think of a Saison, for at least like a simple process that I did without doing anything overly complicated or bringing in wood or bottle conditioning or just different things like that. It was just real simple Saison, and yeah, I mean, I think of
keep it simple Saison.
I think it. I just want to say like pepper. You know, I don't know what kind of pepper.
Yeah.
It's just
little.
It's in there.
I get a little white pepper. There's like some herbal, woodsy kind of bitterness.
Yeah, kind of like a woody.
Yeah, and just like kind of like a little maybe white grape kind of ester. Like it's very, very chill.
Yeah.
Easy drinking.
Did you
Easy
mash
drinking?
it lowish?
It would be in my notes. I probably was in the. I mean, it wouldn't have been
Upper
high.
140s.
I don't even know if I went that low.
Oh,
Probably
okay,
like
okay.
151 or something. But yeah, I think it's. And it got pretty clear.
Yeah,
They-
here after having it maybe once a week for about a month, it's definitely
They
gotten very clear.
they said that it may not get that clear, this type of yeast, and that would also be okay. But I mean, it just been in the keg a little bit, and
Looks like a rustic pills, rustic
I
saison.
yeah, pretty light in color. But that's about it. That's my story. I might have a little follow-up video tasting with Beth since she commissioned it, so that maybe I'll do that after our little segment. But other than that, thanks for coming over and trying it. Now we can sit down and relax and not do videos. All right.
Water your plants.
Maybe we'll cut all three on, but that was funny. So, as I was saying yesterday with Dawson and Chip when we were trying it, that we're gonna get Beth in there. And so, cheers. And she wanted the Saison. So, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
It's yummy. Yeah, tastes real good.
And that about wraps it up. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it yesterday, but yeah. It's a suitable Saison, keeps Beth happy, and that's what we like.
I guess.
Alright, till next time, catch you later.